Okay, welcome back. If you filled out the chart, which I did, and I'm going to keep going, I know that you can always stop my video and look at this, but this is how I did all the calculations for the chart to fill it out. Okay, now they want to ask us some questions about that chart. Okay, consider the cells 1, 2, 4, and 5 of the table. Identify which of these cells can represent students who are female and who participate in after-school athletic programs. Okay, so students that are female, I'm going to do it with this slide. We know that it's cell 1, that would be this one, and cell 2. Those are all the females. Okay, students who participate in after-school athletic programs are that 232 and this one down here, 168. So that's why they say cells 1 and 2 for female and 1 and 4 for if they participate in the after-school program. Okay, if you want to do an or statement, okay, an or statement means that either one can be true. It can be either one. You can either be female or you can participate in the after-school program. So the cells that you're still looking at just these 3 cells. That's how you would have to be able to predict the probability on that. And we'll do that in the next slide. Okay, so then it asks what cells of the two-way table represent students who are male. And now we're going to talk about an and statement. And means both of them have to be true. It can't be one or the other. So they have to be male and they do not participate. It would have to be right here. If I picked this one, it would be that would fulfill that they're male, but they don't participate. If I picked do not participate down here, that wouldn't work because I have females and males. This is the only cell that would work for an and statement. Because both, when you have an and statement, both of them have to be true. It's got to be cell 5. Okay, I want to go over a few things from probability with you, and maybe this will help clear up some of it. We're going to look at how the tables organize, and we want to be able to answer some specific questions. So I want you to think of them as events. We're going to say let capital A represent the event that a randomly selected student is female. Not A would represent the complement. That's a word you might have seen before. The complement of A represents the event a randomly selected student is not female, which is the same thing as saying a randomly selected student is male. We're going to say B represents the event a randomly selected student that participates in after-school athletics. And not B is going to be the complement of B, or it's also someone that does, let's see, B represents someone that does, then not B is someone that does not participate. Right there. Okay. If you said let A or B, it is a union. It means either one can be true. A randomly selected student is female or participates in after-school athletics. As long as it's one or the other. It's a selected female is female, or it's either male or female and they participate in after-school athletics. But when you get to an and statement, that is an intersection, okay, and it's going to be a randomly selected female, randomly selected students female, and they have to participate in an after-school athletics program. That's a union. Both of the events have to be true. So on this one, they just want you to describe the following events in words. Okay? So if you said not A or not B, you're saying male students, because not A, if they're not female, they're going to be male, and not participating in after-school athletics. Okay, B, A, they have to be female students, but B is not B, so they're not participating in after-school athletics programs. Okay, so then they're going to say based on the above descriptions, so they gave you these descriptions and you got your table, determine the probability of each of the following events. And remember, probability has to do with what is the likelihood of it being happening. So if I have A, and A is that it's female, I randomly select a student and they're female. Well, how many female students do I have? I have 580 out of 1,000. That would be my probability. B, I'm going to have, okay, now I'm not looking at males, I'm looking at they participate. So out of participating, now this one's a little bit different. Let's look at it. There's, of all the students, 400 participate. So now I'm looking at this because I'm looking at all the students. It says B represents a randomly selected student participates in after-school athletic programs. So you're still selecting from all the students. That's why 1,000 is on bottom. Okay, not A. Not A means they must be male, and still I'm selecting them out of all the students. Okay, not B. That means they do not participate, and it would be 600 do not participate out of 1,000. Okay, if I want to say A or B, and this is the one I wanted to show you. This is A or B, and we talked about the fact that, okay, this has got to be true, or this down here's got to be true, right? Okay, let's see how they do that one. That one, they're going to add up, and here, let me go back and circle these again. They're going to add up the probability that they're female, which would be 232 plus 348, and they're going to add this in because they could be a male and participating. So the probability that A or B is you add up each of those and you're dividing it by 1,000. Do you see we don't add that 232 twice? They're either female and the only other possibility is male and participating. Okay, now if you look at and, both things must be true. They have to be female and they have to participate. So it's going to be just 232 over 1,000. Okay, now I want to visually kind of show you how this works. Okay, now at first, well, maybe it's just me. I got a little confused on this. But you see the two red circles? Those are our events. So A, that's if you're female. And if you're female, there's 348 of you that do not participate, and there's 232 that do participate. Okay, out of the 580. Okay. Then if you have a male, there's 400 males, and you have 168 of them participate. Okay. And you have 252 up here that do not participate. I can't put them in this one over here because that would make them female. Because that 232 is included in the female circle. I have to put the 252 out here. There is 168 of them that do participate, and there's 252 that do not participate. Okay, so when I use the one or, that means either this is true, or this is true. But and that's why they say it's a union. But when I want to say A and B, they both have to be true, can only be right there. And that is why you get that intersection there. Okay, I am going to go to my next video.